I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Roger Updegrove. Dr. Weir.
Here.
Dr. Wiley.
Here.
Ms. Connor. Here. Ms. Kratz.
Here.
Ms. Nyman.
Here.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Here.
Mr. Panarello.
Here.
8 present, 7 present.
Okay, let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. There were no previous executive sessions. No one has signed up for public comment period number 1, which means I'm looking for the approval of the July 21st, 2026 legislative meeting minutes as presented.
Weir motions.
Dr. Weir.
Yes.
Dr. Wiley.
Can she hear us?
Dr. Wiley.
I'm having a very hard time hearing. I heard you ask my name. I'm assuming, is it for accepting the minutes?
Yes. Yes, it's for accepting the minutes.
Oh, that's better. Thank you. Yes.
Ms. Connor.
Yes.
Ms. Kratz.
Yes.
Ms. Nyman.
No.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
All right, that takes us to the Region 2 School Board Director nominations under item 6, and we're going to turn things over to Mr. Lentz for item A.
Thank you, Dr. David Heiser. I call for nominations to fill the Region 2 School Board Director vacancy created by the resignation of Mr. James H. Brophy.
I would like to nominate. Is this the time for me to speak?
Mrs. Wiley, this is time for you to nominate if you'd like to bring forward a name of a candidate to be considered. Once we get to item B, the motion portion, or if the motion moves forward to the floor and is seconded, we have a question and comment period at that point before any voting would take place. So this is just a nomination period right now to nominate a candidate if a board member would like to bring a name forward.
Okay. I would like to nominate Jason Sarowski for the position.
I'll nominate Lisa Hogan.
A motion to close nominations would be in order.
Yes, I'll call for a motion to close nominations.
I second.
There you go.
I'll call the motion. Dr. Weir.
Wait,
We have to.
to close your call.
Just to close the nominations.
Yes, I'm going to call on the motion.
Yes.
That has a first and a second to close nominations. Dr. Weir.
Yes.
Dr. Wiley.
Yes.
Ms. Connor.
Yes.
Ms. Kratz.
Yes.
Ms. Nyman.
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it. Unanimous.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to call for a motion for the Board of School Directors to nominate and appoint Mr. Sorowski as the Region 2 School Board Director to fulfill James Brophy's unexpired term until the December 2027 reorganization meeting. Now it's a motion for that.
That's a motion for it.
So the motion would now need a second.
So we just have a motion for one candidate?
No. Are we voting on separate motions on both?
Actually, what we could, now that motions are closed, we could just simply have balloting on the part of the board as to who they want to have and see if we have 5 board members who can support a candidate. We don't even need a motion per se at this point.
Okay. So is that in order then?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need to have a motion. We could just go balloting and just see if there are 5 board members to support that.
Ms. Nominates, if we could question them.
If there's any questions or comments?
Oh, yeah, you could have questions or comments, yes.
Okay. So do we do that
Do we do
now
that in order?
prior?
Yes.
Okay.
At the past meeting where you guys were both questioned, Jason, I'm sorry, Jason, I'll go by Jason because I'm not going to say your last name. You asked at the end of your or at the end of your questions, you wanted to make another comment. Could you reflect on what that comment was going to be?
I don't know that.
Sure. Can I do this right here?
No, you got to do it in the mic.
Okay. It's not question and answer, it's public comment.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, we're,
I guess my question would be, what did he want to say?
well, he can voluntarily come forward as a public comment, but this is not a question and answer period for the board to have a further interview process of the candidate. If a candidate wants to come forward, they can, and they're a resident of the district, and make a public comment at this point in time, but it's not a question and answer at this point from the board. I respect your question, but
okay.
that's not what this process is right now.
So then are we just going to,
I mean, he
Take a
can make
vote.
a comment if he wants to, but just like any other public.
do you want to
Member
make,
of the public.
do you both want to make comments before we do this?
Sure. All right. Good evening to the public and good evening to the board. As you all know, in November, I had the privilege of running a tight race against Mr. Panarello. I had the honor of running against him, meeting him and his family. And as I sit here today, hoping for the appointment to this board, I want to talk to the board about the unique opportunity that we have here to put the power back into the hands of the people who voted in November for myself and Mr. Panarello, who ended up winning the race. I received 49.3% of the votes, and I think we have a unique opportunity here to give all the constituents of Region 2 both candidates sitting on the board that they voted for in November. I do believe that Ms. Hogan would do an excellent job as well, but I do believe in serving the community and serving the people, and I think this is a great opportunity for the board to do that, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Hogan, you want to say something?
Sure.
You would think I would know. So I wanted to say, one, thank you for the opportunity to interview. Having gotten to know Jason, I think that he's a great guy, and either way this vote goes, the district will be better for it. And I'm really excited to see all the work that's going to happen over the next couple of years and all the positive movement and progress that we're going to make for the district. I'm always available, whether I'm on the board or not. If anybody needs help or thinks that my expertise can help, you can always reach out, regardless of on the board or not. So that's all. Thank you.
Dr. Wiley, was there something you wanted to add to this?
Yes, I did receive a recommendation from a Mr. Joshua Stouch, who is the chairman of the Douglas Township Board of Supervisors. He's also the Douglas Township Constable, chairman of the Pennsylvania Constables Education and Training Board, senior staff instructor of the Pennsylvania State Police Camp Cadet Program, and a former graduate of Boyertown Area Senior High School. And he has submitted a very strong recommendation for the appointment of Jason to the board. He speaks, I had left the letter with Ms. Connor. Lynn has the official copy of the letter that she can present to the board. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but in the letter, he points to the fact that in public service, character is often revealed not by election victories, but by what happens when an individual chooses what that individual chooses to do when the campaign is over. So following the 2025 election, Jason could have simply walked away. Instead, he chose to continue serving the residents of Douglas Township by accepting appointments to both the Zoning Hearing Board and the Emergency Services Board. He did so quietly, without fanfare, because he genuinely believes in giving back to the community. That willingness to continue serving, even without holding an elected office, is, in my view, this is Joshua speaking, in my view, one of the clearest indicators of his character. And he goes on to commend the military service that we all know requires leadership, it requires commitment, and committing to serving others. I would like to share, I did run for the board at the same time Jason was running, and got to know him through that process. And my thought, I don't know Lisa, but I've heard wonderful things about Lisa and her commitment to the community. I did get a chance to talk with her about her social work, which is such an admirable service to the community. Jason, I think, brings service, the willingness to connect. He speaks and has spoken often about the connectedness that is needed between the board and the community. And that I feel the value that he would bring would be to really spearhead that and to work on helping us as a group to connect to the community and be able to really hear them and for them to understand the work that we're doing as a board. So I feel that that is a strong need that we have at this present time.
Any other comments? Anyone wants to make?
So at this point, as secretary, I'm going to ask a roll call vote where each board member will cast a vote for the nominee of their choosing. So you're going to be providing me a name of a nominee. I'm going to calculate it, and we'll go through this process until there is one nominee. If there's more than one process that we have to go through, you do have the ability to vote for a different individual each time we go through the process. So if I've stated that correctly, Mr. Sultanic?
Perfect. Perfectly.
And there aren't any other questions, then I will get to it. Dr. Weir,
Mr. Sarowski.
Dr. Wiley,
Mr. Sarowski.
Ms. Connor,
Mr. Sarowski.
Ms. Kratz,
Lisa Hogan.
Ms. Nyman,
Jason, sorry.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Lisa Hogan.
Mr. Panarello.
Lisa Hogan.
So I have Lisa Hogan, 3, Mr. Sarowski, 4.
Call Roger.
The motion would not carry. You need to have 5 affirmative votes for this. So either somebody has to change their mind, or we will not be able to act in accordance with the school code in time. And as you might be aware, that in the event we do not act and are unable to fill the position, a group of 10 resident electors can petition the Court of Common Pleas of Berks County for the appointment of a board member, and a judge can make that decision with no criteria at all in terms of making that determination. And we've had that experience occur in Boyertown in the past.
Well, first, I think, like I said before, I think either candidate's going to be great. So first, let me ask the board, does anyone want to change their mind? My next question would be to the candidates, do any of you want to drop out?
I'll withdraw.
Okay. Then we will take another vote for.
At this point in time, since there's only one candidate technically, there could be a motion now. A motion would be in order to appoint Mr. Sarowski, is that
Okay.
correct? As the individual to fill the vacancy created as the result of the resignation of James Brophy through up until reorganization of
2027.
2027,
Yeah.
right,
All right. So at this time, looking for a motion
to that effect.
to that effect.
I motion that we accept Jason Sarowski for the position.
Call for a vote.
Dr. Weir,
Yes.
Dr. Wiley,
Yes.
Ms. Connor,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman, Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Congratulations. Judge Saylor's up?
He's going to get his robe on
right Okay.
Congratulations. Judge Saylor is going to be here. He was sitting behind you. He's just going to give you the robe on for the moment. So we'll make this very, very official. I do have a Bible for you to swear upon. I'll hold that for you, and then there's going to be a certificate. So there will be an oath that you'll need to take, and that oath will be read by Judge Saylor, and then you'll repeat that oath as he reads that. Okay? Does, right? And then after which we'll get your signature on this and be able to put this with the county. All right?
Wait for me, Scott.
You may, absolutely, sure. Give that to you. Judge? Thank you.
Superintendent David Eiser.
All right.
There you go. Congratulations, Dave. Honorable thing.
He's gonna be great, no doubt.
Oath is here.
Okay.
Be ready. I need the voices.
All right, yep. Place your left, raise your right. Where do you want me to go, photographers? I'll go anywhere, any way, okay? Yeah, I can over there. Yeah, sure. I, Jason A. Sarowski,
I, Jason A. Sarowski,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sign it over here. Pen, yep, right here.
Thank you.
Good enough, there's the seal, we're good. Thank you very much for your service. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Attorney, counselor.
You did that very well, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's my first one I ever did. See you later, Andrew. Take care. See you, Aiden.
Mr. Farowski, take your seat. You're officially ready, right?
Oh, yeah. I know Brad will help me. Of course I can.
There's no BCIU or BCTC reports today.
Okay, that takes us down to item 8, our discussion and information section for this evening. And we're going to begin with just a project update. We've had 2 large capital projects that have been taking place all summer. 2 that are one that's probably a little bit more visible, as we've seen the stadium and the Bear Cub turf field kind of grow up here over the summer and get a little bit greener. So we're going to be updating on the fields project, as well as Boyertown Elementary, which is going through a HVAC, lighting, fire alarm system renovation. It's a 2-phase project. First phase is this summer, which is taking approximately half of the building and moving it toward a full completion next summer, in which we should have an updated HVAC system, again changed over from electric to gas, if you recall, a brand new roof, which should be completed at the end of this phase 1. As well as an updated fire alarm system, which will be completed at the end of next year. We've had some recent issues with the current fire alarm unrelated to the construction project. So you'll hear a little bit about that, and the board's been made aware of that as we've been going through some issues with it, but we do have a fix for that, which should be completed probably within the next day or 2. So at this time, what I'm going to do is invite to the podium from CHA, Mr. Jamie Lynch, and a special guest with him this evening. This is Mr. Aiden Scheck. Aiden is a rising sophomore at Lehigh University. He is a mechanical engineer major. And Aiden was brought on board to intern with CHA this particular year. Aiden is a 2025 Boyertown graduate. So very familiar with the school district himself, and it's been a pleasure having Aiden around, and I'm sure Mr. Lynch can share some more details about what Aiden has brought to Boyertown this summer, and some really things to be proud about with regard to Aiden and his performance. So Mr. Lynch, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. David Iser. Good evening, members of the Boyertown public and the school board and the administration. Yes, it has been a pleasure to have Aiden Scheck with us. Tonight we take things very seriously because this is his final exam for his summer internship with CHA. And it's been a pleasure to have Aiden on board. He was on site at both the field and the elementary school. And last week, he was invited to our Albany headquarters, where he provided a stunning presentation on how pickleball and their paddles and balls could be made to not make as much racket, if you will. So he and a couple of other interns made a presentation to our chief executive officer, along with all the other interns in the country for CHA. And it's really a fun thing to do. And every year, of course, I'm proud as a Lehigh grad that I've got another up and coming Lehigh grad behind me. But very impressive what these students could do, especially as a rising sophomore. Certainly what he learned here at Boyertown and what he's learning is vastly, far and away better and more advanced than what I learned when I was his age at Lehigh. So great to see that he's progressing. So as part of his final exam, we've learned this summer primarily that engineers do not sit in cubicles running calculations. They manage projects. They execute for boards. They execute for the community. And they're always trying to do the best on every given day. And they're also charged with solving problems. And so that's a lot of what Aiden has seen, and I know that when he goes back into his linear methods class this year, he'll be able to tell those kids what it's really like to manage a project. So he's going to tell us a little bit about what we've done this summer, and I will give some guidance as well. So, young man, I'll do the clicker for you.
That works. Thank you. Hello. So, as you guys know, we've been working on the stadium, and so turf has been installed, and those big yellow goalposts also have been installed. We've also had our GMAX test, which has been passed, and there's a 10-year warranty that's included with that. And the grounds crew has been trained how to do maintenance on the field. We've also done a flagpole replacement, and track surface repairs have been made. As you guys can see, that's our nice new stadium, and that's taken from the home side. And then this is taken from the service garage entrance. So this is then the Bear Cub turf field. That top left picture is that concrete curb that we installed, and then that middle picture is the drainage that we installed with the stone, and then that bottom right is when the stone was subgraded. And actually today, if you drive by, there's actually turf already on that field. So they're moving quick on that field as well.
So what do we do to the top layer of stone before we put the turf on it?
Subgrade it, and then you put a shock pad underneath it.
Yep, but we test. What do we test for?
We did an infiltration test as well.
Okay.
And we passed that.
So how many inches of water goes through in an hour?
10 inches.
20 inches.
20 inches, okay.
Very good. Very good.
Again, this is a picture of the subgraded practice field. This is from Monroe Street.
Great. And you say this picture was taken on the 6th of August, and if you drive by tonight, that field is green. So we're in the process of sowing and finishing the carpet. Fence posts have been driven, and we are on schedule. That's another important thing to mention to the board, that we're on schedule for the completion as planned. Action items for the board at this time? There are none. The stadium will be ready for athletes next week. We anticipate completion of the practice field, followed by paving. Paving is actually scheduled for August 24th right now. And by paving, I mean the asphalt walkway that surrounds the entire field. There's a bleacher pad. We're coordinating the bleacher installation. There are the ball nets that go between the field and the neighbor's property. And then we'll be doing final restoration, topsoiling, and seeding. So we figure that we are in very good shape for September 9th. We need to finish the turf, install the infill, get a successful GMAX on that field, and athletes will be on that field. There are no change orders on this project at all, and we also anticipate a credit returning dollars to the school district for unused material allowances. When we talked about this project originally, I was concerned about the shale that's under both of these fields, and we're very fortunate, knock on fake wood. We had no issues with the excavation. It worked out very well. And just reporting back to you, we had spectacular bid results on this project. What we really learned amidst fuel prices being fluctuating all throughout the year was your proximity to quarries made the availability of stone very affordable. And so we were able to get stone for your project much faster than other projects that are some distance away. So that was really the difference maker here on the field projects. Hard to read on the screen. I'm sure you have it at your seat. Just a quick update on the total project budget. We were originally budgeted at some 7.4 million. Total project after bid came in at 4.8 million, and we held that number through construction. Our contingency has actually gone up during the project, and that's a result of lower fees required for the township permitting process. So I'll be back to you in September with a final credit change order for Land Tech that will return some more dollars to you. And so your project is going to be able to really return that entire project contingency to whatever fund balance it needs to be applied to. And maybe I'll stop there and just ask if there are any questions on the field projects.
One question, it says that everything will be done by September 9th, but the football field is completely done, correct?
Football field requires the net posts for the ball stopping. And then there are places where we cut the edge of the track to install the concrete curb that the field is attached to. And we need to replace that track material. We'll do that on off hours in order to get it done. And it takes time to cure. So we'll set up the times in order to do that. But there's no restrictions on using the track, using the field, anything like that for athletes beginning next week.
Oh, great. All right, thanks.
By you messing with the track, has that messed up the warranty for the track?
There's no warranty on the track right now. I don't believe that it's been recoded recently. And so there is no messed up warranty. I'm sorry.
Mr. Lynch, you want to just share with the board comparatives, other projects similar to this go pretty smoothly, and just remind the board a little bit about the drainage aspect with this and the depth in the D zone of the one area as to infiltration and how the process works when it comes to turf fields, just to remind them about some of that.
Sure. Overall, I'm very pleased with how the project went. Really credits the district to the plan that we put together in order to get on the Bear Cub field first earlier in the spring before school let out. That allowed us to get a jump start. And so to be able to complete 2 fields of this nature during a summer, even with some people who say, boy, it rained a lot this summer, is really a testament to Land Tech, the contractor, and the work that they did, and your manufacturer, Sprint Turf. As far as drainage, both fields have underground stormwater basins, and in compliance with DEP requirements and also township requirements, we're required to hold more stormwater in volume than we were at the beginning of the project. In other words, we have to make the site drainage, or the drainage from the site, better than it was before. We also have to control the rate at which stormwater leaves the site. It has to leave the site slower than it did before. And so that's what the stormwater basins under both fields do. And as Aiden noted, before the shock pad and the turf goes down, there's a special layer of drainage stone. We also want to make sure that when it rains, and when it rains hard, that we don't have ponding or flooding of any kind on the field. And so the requirements are for 20 inches of rain to pass through that stone in the course of an hour. I always put the superintendent in charge of weather, so when we just about finished all the infill on the stadium, he called for tremendous rains last week to put it to the test. He's always tested me as long as I've known him, and really right after the rainstorm, you would be on that field being able to play. So, again, the system is installed very well. We had an excellent contractor and an excellent plan in going in to try to execute this work.
Some of the things most recently discussed is for us to be on there Monday. We've asked for assembly. Part of the project included goal nets for field hockey, for soccer. Those are hopefully being put together this week so that we can get on the field starting Monday. We have full practices open under PIAA for fall sports, and we can be on that field. We're hoping to be on that field starting next week as a regular schedule. And as Mr. Lynch mentioned, we're hoping sometime shortly after Labor Day that the Bear Cub field will be accessible, and we should be really full bore with regard to both fields and scheduling those out. So it's an exciting time. Accessibility is key when it comes to sports and athletics, and weather plays a large role to that, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. Whether it's too dry or it's too wet, accessibility really struggles. And, when we talk about having cavalcades and bands and practice and just the routine nature on grass, I think these projects people will see the benefits of where the accessibility piece for all of our student athletes, our musicians, and ultimately our community, as these fields will be available for rental space in the off hours to which we don't have our school-sponsored activities on them.
10-year warranty on both fields. You've got grooming equipment that's provided as part of the contract for both fields. The training on how to use that grooming equipment was provided by the turf manufacturer in the past week. So, once again, we're ready to go. GMAX testing is a measure of the bounce, if you will, on the field. The first test was completed, and as a part of the warranty package from Sprint Turf, that test is completed annually. And that gives the grounds crew and, of course, the community an understanding of work that may or may not have to be done as far as grooming the infill. But we are well under the requirements on our GMAX. It performs very, very well. Yes?
Was everybody in the grounds crew taught how to maintain the fields, or just one person, or?
There were, I believe, 5 people at the training. I couldn't tell you for sure, but I have a sign-in sheet of the gentlemen that were at the training. So it was more than one. Okay. Then there's another project, Boyertown Elementary, and I'm going to hand the mic back over to my young intern once again to tell you some of the details there.
All right, so this was a 2-phase project. We took the front half this summer, and then next summer we're going to take the back half and the gym. This summer we did electrical and ceiling, and what was that on the next slide?
You're good.
This summer we did electrical, so we ran wiring throughout the building. We did new breakers. We put a whole new roof over the building, so we didn't break that up into 2 summers. We put that just into one. There's new ducts going through the building for HVAC, and there's a new main panel in the mezzanine, as well as all ceiling units have been installed this summer as well. And then there are cassettes installed in this half of the summer project. So the next phase will have the rest of the cassettes installed.
Not bad. I'm going to do this one, though.
Okay.
So just to summarize, 2-stage project as Aiden identified. This fall, we're activating the gas service. And we were very fortunate with UGI as far as the new gas service of the building. It's been installed. The meter was installed this week. We expect to activate gas on Thursday this week. So working with a public utility, I'm sure you understand the coordination necessary there. Controls are being fine-tuned for the HVAC in the front half of the building. We'll be doing owner training with the maintenance crew on the new equipment that's there. And our roofing is going to go right up until the start of school. As you recall, we did a bid alternate to do 1 summer versus 2. That was at no additional cost to the district. And despite the rain, our roofer, I think, is going to make it. He's got 4 squares left. You'll see an image of that in just a minute. There's a new cabinet for the electrical room that will be installed in December, which sets the stage for the replacement of the existing Med-Ed service transformer that sits at the building. The existing transformer is original to the building. We've worked with Med-Ed throughout the design and construction process. They weren't quite as responsive as UGI and came in during construction and identified some changes that they would like to make. And fortunately, the short story is they'll replace the transformer in place at no cost to the district. And we have 1 screen wall to put a gate in order to allow that to happen. So There were several meetings with MedEd, and we finally came to that conclusion. And that transformer itself, because of the work next summer and our need to keep power in the building, will not be replaced probably until the summer of 2028. That's not part of the project. This is something that MedEd imposed during the project. So next spring should be a little easier than this spring. So we will leave the corridor ceilings out in the building. There are light fixtures, there are smoke alarms, all of the necessary devices are in the corridors, but we still have work to do in the corridors of the building for control wiring, fire alarm wiring for the rest of the building. The work that we did this year, all of the classrooms, the ceilings will be replaced, the lights have been replaced. We have new casework in those classrooms. And what we've also done is set all of the new rooftop equipment for the entire building, both phases. So next summer, we simply need to go to the back of the school, remove the ceilings, remove the furniture, remove the unit ventilators, put in the new VRF system, and get it up and running. So a lot of the hard work was done this summer. The electrician specifically has put all the new breaker panels throughout the building, not just in the front half. So it was a really excellent summer, a good group of contractors. And once again, knock on plastic laminate. This week, we're in the process of cleaning, moving back in, and I have a slide related to that. So that's the game plan. It's just an image of the roof. This was last week on the 6th, kind of the lower right side as you see the square that the roofer had off on that day. He does one square in about a day. He's done 3 more since that. And so we just have that lower right corner, that flat area to do before school starts. He started with all of the hard roofs and he's got the easy ones left. So as long as the superintendent keeps the rain away for the rest of the week and next, I think we're going to be in good shape with the roof. You want to talk to these slides, Aid?
Sure. So new ductwork has been installed through this phase of the building, and it's also been insulated in the classrooms. And then the refrigerant piping is coming from the cassettes. That's pictures taken in admin, and that's also has insulation wrapped around it, and that runs the cool off the individual rooms. And then you have new water heaters in the mechanical room, and they've been installed. And then you have a new distribution panel up in the mezzanine, up above near the gym, that feeds the breakers. And then those are the new breakers that you had installed throughout the room. And patchwork has been installed too for the blocks that were taken out.
So we just have to paint the block at this point. Here's an image of one new classroom from last week. Hopefully you see a noticeable difference with the new ceiling and the new LED lights. What's been added since this photo is on that back wall where there used to be a unit ventilator. There is all new casework installed for the teachers. So this is what the majority of the spaces are looking like. We have cleaners cleaning. We have movers scheduled Thursday this week and Saturday this week. We're focusing on getting admin in first for Craig and his team, and it seems to be going very well. This is the map that we made for our contractors to just give them an idea on how to focus as we put, as I say, Humpty Dumpty back together again. So this was put together several weeks ago and distributed out to our contractors, and they've worked to this plan in order to get ceilings installed, get the township to perform its inspections, get everything cleaned up, get casework in, get control work in so that cleaners can get there, so that we can make sure that Mr. Yanuzzi has everything he needs to get the building ready with his custodial staff, and of course get Craig ready to get in. And I know we have teachers and is it pre-kindergarten or kindergarten next week, and they are in the back rooms with the green dots. And so this plan has been very detailed and updated almost daily. There is one action item. We have our 3 prime contractors, Phillips, EA, and JBM. On Phillips Brothers, there are no change orders. On EA, the roofer, there are no change orders. There is a change order for JBM that I'd like the board to contemplate at its action meeting. And this is for work to replace water lines and insulation in many places within the building. I know that you understand that everything in the building is really original to the building. And when the ceilings were taken down and we had to run the refrigerant lines, we had to run the ductwork, in many cases, there were conflicts with existing water lines. There were many isolation valves that no longer functioned and couldn't isolate portions of the building. We had valves that go to the kitchen that didn't operate. The pressure reducing valve that serves the building that brings in the water from the street is old and needs to be replaced. We had big issues with water lines. And we didn't have to replace everything in the building, but we did have to replace a good amount. And so that's new 3-inch and smaller diameter copper and related insulation and isolation valves throughout. So that work had to be done in order for the ductwork, for the rest of the conduit, for all of the refrigeration lines that you see that run throughout the building in order to be completed. The cost of that would be taken from the project contingency. And if I run over to the budget, just to understand where we are from a budgetary standpoint, our originally budgeted $15 million project came in at just over $11 million. We reduced the contingency accordingly when that came in. We have the one change order that's shown here for JBM. At this point in time, it simply reduces the contingency by roughly $100,000. And the reason for that is that we've also picked up some savings in the soft costs for this job so far. And so still, this project remains on budget with $500,000, more than $500,000 in project contingency. And I look favorably on what we have to do next summer. As I mentioned, we've got the roof done. We've got most of the main electrical throughout the building done. We've got all the rooftop equipment on the building. And so I think next summer is going to be even, I shouldn't say even easier than this summer, but easier than this summer was. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have on these projects. And if they're easy ones, I'll give them to Aiden.
Just to bring the board up to speed, the roof, like Mr. Lynch said, we are near completion of that. I've given approval that if there is any needed flashing, any type of new thing that needs to be done on that roof, that it can be completed during the time of which students are there. There shouldn't be any noise. There shouldn't be any real dust with regard to that. All their tear-offs will have been done. So we have been given approval to extend that if needed to make sure that we can get that roof completed and they can be off-site for that. Like we did last spring, where electrical work was taking place throughout second shift time. We've given approval to do some second shift things in the fall for electrical, to be running some lines in preparation for the second phase, which can be done. And most of that, again, mechanical room and second shift after students, all students and any staff mostly are out of that building at that time, and it worked well this past spring for that. So overall, a large renovation project. With this, you're always running into timelines, and I believe CHA has really managed this well. The primes on the job have really done an excellent job and have cooperated getting us to this, and Aiden has really massaged all of this project to get to where we are right now and getting it to some pieces that we think are really successful. The rooms that have been cleaned and completed already, it's an amazing change of lighting in those rooms. Some staff have already noticed the difference in the HVAC is certainly noticeable from a more antiquated univent system. We're pleasantly happy with the product thus far, and we're looking forward to a final wrap up next summer, and we expect the work to be completed prior to the start of school year next year. Ms. Nyman?
Yeah, the fire alarms that have been going off.
Yeah.
Is that an extra cost to us? Or?
So it is. It's going to be, and it's unrelated to the construction. So again, original fire alarm system. So you're talking a fire alarm system that's 55 years old. We had a panel go out Thankfully, we had Phillips Brothers there as one of the primes on the job, was able to diagnose, works with Simplex, which is the systems that work there. So there is going to be a cost to that. We don't know exactly what that cost is. We expect it to be under $10,000.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch, at this point in time, so that we can get that system up and we have the life-saving equipment up and operating, and we're expecting that to be in the next 24 to 48 hours. We're working today. There, JCI was working in there. It was on test. Did set up an alarm. There was a false alarm trigger today with regard to that, but we expect that to be operational certainly by the end of this week before any real staff move into that. We're currently on fire watch with the fire departments.
Yeah, I might add that cost would come out of the material allowance that's in the contract. So
Yep.
at this point, I don't believe that it's an additional cost to the district, but it's for the programming. And I might also add that when we replace a fire alarm system in a two-phase project, we always try to make either the new system work with the old system, or have the old system work with the new system. And there's inherent danger of both. In putting in new devices and having them on the old system doesn't have the capacity. So effectively, we were leaving the old system in place and finishing the replacement, putting the new system online next summer. Fortunately, we were ready for this. The new panel was already in stock with Philips, and that's what's allowed us to replace the old panel with a new panel that we're putting the old devices on. I'll draw a picture if I need to for everyone, but it's really to the credit of Phillips Brothers contractors that when we were first alerted to the fact that the panel died, they jumped right into action, and that panel's already on the wall, and we expect startup this week, as Dr. D mentioned.
We are going to test them and make sure they are functional before.
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be, that's required.
All horns and strobes, yep.
Any other questions for Mr. Lynch? Aiden, back to the podium real quick. Biggest takeaway from the projects for you?
Just having to constantly be on your feet all the time, seeing random issues pop up that you never expect, and looking above the ceiling. And obviously, it's an old building, so there's issues that are everywhere. And so just knowing what the building is and stuff that's above the ceiling, it helps a lot with planning. And it's always better to be prepared than to be a foot behind. So, yeah.
You might say plan the work, then work the plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Treat the project as if it was in your own home.
Yeah.
Come on, you remember these things.
I know.
Well, Aiden, it's been a pleasure having you with us this summer. We hope to see you back again next summer. And Mr. Lynch, thank you for the updates. The one thing that came out of that will be a change order that I'll be bringing to the board at the next legislative meeting for your consideration of that. So thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That takes us to item B, and I'm going to have Mr. Lentz step in here and just make the board aware of a school facility improvement grant that we did recently apply for.
Thank you, Dr. David Heiser. So with the passage of the state budget for our 26-27 fiscal year, there was an opportunity, a very brief window of about 10 days for districts to submit an additional application for funding for facilities improvement projects. The requirement is that those projects have not already been bid, awarded, or in the works. So based upon the projects that we've brought to the board for completion in the 26-27 year, the project we were able to identify would be the Gilbertsville Elementary School boiler as well as water line replacement within that building. If we receive that grant, that'll fund 75% of the project cost. So that was submitted for $570,000. We get left with a 25% match. That would be a reduction in what's going to be planned to spend from our capital project funds. We will wait to hear. There's not a definitive timeline for that award process. It's noted that it will be announced at some point this fall of 26.
All right, under item C, I'm going to have Mr. Bruner step to the podium. He's here with us this evening, so thank you, Mr. Bruner, for being available to just share with you a little bit about Anastasia and the proposal for the Bash School musical for next year, as well as its proposed budget.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. David Heiser. Excited to, again, present to you another full-fledged Boyertown musical for you, for your consideration. This year, Ms. Kraszewski and I sat down and determined that the musical Anastasia would be the best option for our school. We felt as though the two of us have now worked together for 2 years very well together. It was time to step up and put together a really outstanding production with quite a challenge ahead of us, with new challenges with costuming and sets, to kind of go back to the days of the big musicals that we did when I first started teaching at the high school. It's difficult to do those yearly, so we tried to do a couple of smaller ones like we did successfully with Drowsy Chaperone, and now we're ready to do a very big musical by famed Broadway musical composer Steve Flattery, whose musical is sitting on Broadway right now with a million Tony Awards, Ragtime. I'm sure you've heard about that. That's one of his biggest hits right now. So anyway, Anastasia is based off of the animated movie that came out in the 90s about the story of the Romanov dynasty being taken over by the Bolsheviks, and then what happened to the poor girl. Did she really live or not live? And the fairy tale kind of goes on through that. So it should be quite good. It'll be a really great musical score, and hopefully the audiences of Boyertown will love it and come out and support us. It's going to take place February 25th through the 28th, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any. Oh, you're an easy board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. We'll move that to consideration at our legislative meeting. All right, that takes us to item D, and we have the Boyertown Young Women in Science Fund of Berks County Community Foundation grant. And we do have Dr. Maori here this evening, principal at Middle School East, to share a little bit about the application and what we received and what it is actually going to be applied toward.
Thank you, Dr. David Heiser and the board. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to talk about this. This was something that really we're pretty excited about at the middle school levels. The Reading Science Center created a program that met the qualifications of this grant that is overseen through the Berks County Community Foundation, which they manage and support various grants within Berks County. And this particular grant was provided by Dr. Deborah Patt, who I've learned is a former Boyertown veterinarian who has given a lot of support to the Boyertown community. And after learning about this, I look forward to meeting her and thanking her and learning more about what she is doing to support our students. So this particular grant is for 7th and 8th grade girls in the Boyertown School District who have shown an aptitude and interest in science, with particularly in veterinary science. The program that's created is called Planet of Life and will provide hands-on experiences and lessons centering around life science. This grant covers all of the cost of instruction and materials. There will be no cost to the district other than providing a classroom, which will be at West. The group will meet once a month starting in late September and will finish after 8 sessions at some point in April. As I said, this is for 7th and 8th grade girls. Both East and West will be able to provide 10 students to go to this after-school program, totaling 20 students. We will take the East students over to West using already runs and transportations that we have set up. And the parents will be required to pick up students at the end of the sessions, which will end around 4:45. The instructors that will be leading this come from the Reading Science Center. There will be 2 present for each session, so we won't have students alone with just one other person. They will have their clearances that are required of all folks who work with our students. And this is open to our teachers and administrators as well to sit in and participate in these sessions. So I look forward to seeing how that plays out. The sessions will involve hands-on activities or virtual learning experiences, and the progression, as I've learned, as they're developing it, it's not set in stone yet, but they're starting from the smallest organisms, the cells, leading up to slightly larger animals. Maybe they're going to be dissecting a squid, frog. Possibly there's a representative from the bat sanctuary that we have close by that's going to come in and work with the students about how, we have almost a symbiotic relationship with bats, which I did not know a bat sanctuary existed anywhere in our area. Possibly a reptile specialist coming in, and moving on up to larger, more common animals, dogs, cats, horses as well. So the students will also have some input on what they study and what they are learning throughout this program as it gets developed. So pretty cool after-school program that we're able to offer to some of our students. Very grateful to Dr. Pat, the Berks County Community Foundation, and the Reading Science Center who are providing this opportunity for us. Are there any questions that I could answer for you all? All right.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity, and thank you and Ms. Dombrowski for applying for the grant and making this opportunity eligible for our students.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. So under item E, there are some confidential settlement agreements. The board's been made aware of those through their weekly reports. We'll be moving those to the legislative meeting for your consideration. Under item F, we do have some annual renewals from our Office in Teaching and Learning, and you can see those listed there. That should be fundamentally most of and the last of some of our annual agreements. Mrs. Petrie, you want to come to the podium?
Yes, we are nearing the end of our agreements as we are getting started with the school year very soon. We do have a handful of quotes that come in mid-year because of the way that the timing of the quotes came. So I will continue to add those to our agendas. But these last group of quotes really will get us started and ensure that we can get the digital resources and tools ready for our students for the first day of school. Any questions about any of the resources provided? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Petrie. Item G is our donation list. And again, we have two donators this particular month, one of which is the Boyertown Optimist for girls softball at Middle School East. And it's some renovations of some fields, taking away of some infield lips and transitions and so forth in preparation for. So we do thank them for their consideration of that, as well as, and I know Mr. Nyman, you spoke of the grooming and the training and so forth. One of the things that we did ask the Boyertown Stadium Committee was for a donation of a vehicle to be able to tow the groomer and to tow the other device of a sweeper that we are going to maintain at both of those fields only. They won't be vehicles that we transition to other areas due to the nature of making sure that we're not dragging other materials into the turf areas. So that Kubota, valued at just over $12,000, is being donated by the Stadium Committee for those purposes. So both of these will be on for recommended action at the next meeting. Under item H through item V are policies that came out of our last policy committee. There were a few slight adjustments on some of those. They've been adjusted as we had discussed those. They're there for your viewing purposes. I would ask that you take a look at those over the next couple of weeks. If you have any further questions, please let me know. We can speak about those prior or at our next meeting, but we do plan to bring those forward for a first read at our next legislative committee. And again, we're working through a policy review process that will probably take approximately 3 years, 2 more years out of the 3 years to complete the process and getting through all the way through all of our 900 policies. So it does take us down to the itemized agenda, and we do have one action item this evening, and that is the personnel agenda. And I'll turn that back back to the board. So the administration is recommending the approval of this personnel agenda as listed.
Panarello moves.
We're seconds.
I'll call the roll. Dr. Weir.
Yes.
Dr. Wiley.
Dr. Wiley, can you hear?
Yes, sorry.
Ms. Connor.
Yes.
Ms. Kratz.
Yes.
Ms. Nyman.
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Mr. Sorowski.
Yes.
Was that close?
We'll work on that.
We'll get
We'll get,
All right, that takes us to old business. There is nothing listed at this time.
Public comment period number 2, I believe. Donnie Savage.
Hi, thanks for having me tonight. Just want to make a couple comments about the board vacancy, the board filling the board vacancy. From the perspective of the public, I thought that the whole process was so transparent and clear, and I just wanted to commend the board leadership and administration for that whole process. You were fortunate, board, to have 2 exceptional candidates. There was no bad choice except to not be able to make a choice and put that in the hands of the Berks County court system. And then after the ballot vote, Ms. Hogan, being the class act that I already know her to be, made the decision easier for you. So thanks to Ms. Hogan for expressing interest in serving our kids in our community, and congrats to Mr. Zarowski on his appointment to the board.
Welcome, Jason.
First of all, welcome, Jason, and thank you, Lisa. I pondered over speaking tonight or making a comment. I am nauseated by the leadership of this district. The recent behavior that came from this leader at the last 2 meetings is reprehensible. Under administrative content for Mr. Brophy's resignation on at the July 21st, 2026. His comments stated, "Did you guys get that on camera?" The theatrics. Under board comments at the August 24th, 2026 meeting, I don't want to take your time to share the entire comment, but the leader made only part that was not professional leadership in my perspective. The part of that comment is, I think no matter what the outcome is, the board will be better than it was today or 3 weeks ago. I guess the only way to be in good with the board leadership is to always agree. If you share a different value or disagree, this leader has no time for you or will shut you down. This leader is the only one who knows everything. I am here to represent the members of Region 1, but willing to listen to everyone's opinions, not the I agree board members of this leadership. The new board members ran on change. To date, I have not seen any change, just the good old boy leadership. I'm hoping with tonight, and Jason, sorry, I will get your last name. I'm hoping with that we get some more comments back into this boardroom.
Welcome, Jason. Mr. Sorowski. Did I say it right? Good. And thank you to Lisa.
Jason, welcome to the board. Mrs. Hogan, thank you so much for applying, taking the time out of your personal life to come and speak to us last week and tonight. So thank you.
Sorry, I'm new at this. first and foremost, thank you all for appointing me to the board. I really look forward to working with each and every one of you and really improving what you've already done in the school district. I'm just really excited to be a part of the team and help be a part of something bigger than all of us. And to Ms. Hogan, I told you in the seat that you did not have to do that. It was a super class act. You are a wonderful person, and I meant it when I told you to make sure that you keep your phone on, because I will be bothering you when I have questions. And that's all I have. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome, Jason. And I also just want to thank CHA, too. It seems like they're doing a really, really good job. Both projects were very needed, and anytime we can do anything to help the student experience for whatever reason, I think it's great for the school district.
I want to welcome Jason. I've gotten to know him, so we're kind of buddies. I'm happy for him. I want to thank Lisa because you made it easy. I definitely didn't want to see this go, and I don't think anybody was going to change their votes, so I really appreciate what you did. That's it.
Is it my turn?
We forgot about you. Forgot all about you. Go ahead, Dr. Wiley.
Gee, thanks, Tony. First, I would like to congratulate Jason. I'm very much looking forward to working with you and excited about the value that you will bring to the board. Lisa, I've heard so many wonderful things about you, truly, from various people in the community, and your actions today are just a testament to what I've heard. So I thank you, and perhaps look forward to another opportunity for you to be here on the board. I would also like to give a huge kudos to the contractors, to Aiden. I'm going to be honest, I was so excited and got goosebumps to hear just how diligently and efficiently these projects are going, and their willingness to serve and to watch our pennies, and just operating in such a fiscal responsible manner and wanting to give us the biggest bang for our bucks. So thank you for your diligence in doing that. I would also like to welcome the new teachers and staff members. Mrs. Petrie sent out a invite for the board members to come and to be a part of the luncheon for the new teachers and staff. And honestly, I was so bummed out that I would not be able to be there personally. It is such an exciting and a new chapter for these people who are coming into the community. I would like to just say to them, welcome, and best wishes to you as you begin this new tenure in the Boyertown School District. I'm done.
Thank you, Dr. Wiley. Thank you. Just to add to that, as most board members do know, this week has been our new teacher induction week, led by Ms. Petrie, Mr. Stout, and has brought together 29 new teachers to the district starting yesterday. Today we had mentors of those same individuals on site, so we had nearly 60 individuals in today. And that will continue throughout the week, working with our offices in teaching and learning, our instructional coaches, our supervisors in preparing and really just understanding the culture of Boyertown, the expectations, the processes, the procedures. They've been hired, the individuals have been hired because they are the best at what they do, and they've been identified as such. Now it's really just getting them to understand what Boyertown's about this week, and that's taking place all week. Next Tuesday will be our first full staff day. We have a convocation ceremony starting in the morning on Tuesday, followed by an active trainer shooting, drills that are required by the state and that kicks off our really kicks off our school year and really brings it to fruition as to all of our staff on site. So all of our employees next Tuesday, all of our support staff, everyone, all of our paraprofessionals are invited to our opening convocation next week, and certainly any board members that would like to join are welcome as well. We'll be at Bash Auditorium at 8 a.m. We have some refreshments beginning at 7:30. So it's an exciting time of this year. It's been a very, very successful, busy, and very successful and productive summer. We have, and the community will be hearing about this shortly, we have probably 13 capital projects. You've heard about those. You've approved all those throughout the spring and early parts of the summer. This summer we acted on those. So there's a lot that's been going on and juggling of the two large projects. There's been projects at nearly every other building, some of which are safety related, that came out of our reviews as related to safeties. So whether it's bollards that are being placed in front of certain entrances as a security mechanism, or it's drains that we're working on, or it's been curbing, or it's been steps, or it's been curtains, or it's been other types of mechanisms, doors, and so forth. So a lot of things taking place, and that will continue to take place throughout the fall as it relates to all those capital projects that were approved in this year's particular budget. And again, the budgeting season has already kicked off for 27, 28, and where Mr. Lentz is busy at beginning those processes with our teams so that we can really report back to you this fall that process and how we're going to begin looking at the budget for next year. So again, a lot of great things taking place this summer. We're excited to get our students back. I do want to make you as well as the public aware, we did have a sad moment last week. We learned of the passing of a student here in the district. He was a rising sixth grader. His name is Tanner Anselowski, and his services are tomorrow. Sadly passed away. Had been dealing with various form of cancer, brain cancer, and so our hearts and prayers go out to the family. His mother, Danielle Anselowski, a real class act and employee here in the school district as well. So we've lent our support and will continue to lend our support. Addison, who is a 16-year-old at Bash, will be coming back here to the high school in a couple of weeks. So we lend our support to them and any other student that needs that. And we've sent messages out to the various schools and their folks. So again, take a moment and pause to just think about them and their family at this particular time. Very, very sad moment in time. So that's it. We're going to reconvene our legislative meeting in 2 weeks here on August 25th. Some of those items you heard about tonight will turn into action items, which will be for your consideration. We will begin back with our committee meetings at 6 p.m. starting in September when we kick it off with our finance committee meeting. So Mr. Lentz will talk a little bit about the money aspect, followed by each of our committee of the whole and legislative meetings and so forth. So we will be getting back into routine there. With the near completion of the 2 turf fields, we are considering a ribbon cutting ceremony. So stay tuned. We have looking at a couple of different dates. There are going to be after Labor Day, once both fields are completed, and we will perform a ribbon cutting ceremony for both, and we will certainly get information out to the board and to our public for attendance at those particular events. So with that, that's all I have, Mr. Penrose.
Motion to adjourn?
We are seconds.
Meeting adjourned.